The Tyrant Emperor can hear my thoughts. ABL Storytime original translation. Opening hook. The poison arrow was already flying toward the Emperor. Zi Chengyuan was surrounded by assassins. His sword flashed through the dark forest, cutting down one enemy after another. But he never saw the archer hidden in the branches behind him. My mind had no time to think. My body moved first. Your Majesty, watch out. The arrow tore into my left shoulder. Pain exploded through me. I fell from my horse and crashed onto the ground, rolling through dirt and dead leaves until the sky became a blur. It hurts so badly. Am I going to die? At least I died heroically while saving a handsome man. Maybe they will put my name in the history books. I only hope he remembers to burn me a new phone, a mansion, and several cups of milk tea in the afterlife. Ni Huan. The Emperor's scream was the last thing I heard before darkness swallowed me. When I opened my eyes again, I was lying on the Imperial bed. The ruthless tyrant who could order an execution without blinking sat beside me, with bloodshot eyes, messy robes, and trembling hands. You're awake, he whispered. Does it still hurt? Then, as he fed me medicine one spoonful at a time, I looked at his exhausted face and thought, maybe I can trust him once. Maybe I can try loving him. After all, he is ridiculously handsome. His hand froze. He set down the bowl, interlocked his fingers with mine, and pressed my hand over his heart. You said you wanted to try trusting me. My face burned. I didn't say it, I only thought it. Zi Chengyuan stared into my eyes. Ni Huan, you no longer need to hide. I have heard every thought in your heart since the day we met. He kissed my fingers. Your life belongs to me. Without my permission, not even the king of hell may take you away. His voice dropped into a possessive whisper. From now on, you are only allowed to think about me. Do you understand? End of hook. Welcome to BL Storytime. Settle in and enjoy a sweet, dramatic, and hilarious boys' love story about a modern office worker who wakes up as a low-ranking palace guard only to discover that the most dangerous emperor in the kingdom can hear every shameless thought in his head. Now, let the story begin. The story. Cold. That was the first sensation that invaded my brain. It was not the harmless chill of an office air conditioner blasting 24-degree air against the back of my neck while I struggled through an afternoon deadline. This cold came from hard marble beneath my body and pierced straight through my bones. The thick metallic smell of blood filled my nose. My stomach twisted, and nausea climbed into my throat. But I did not dare vomit. A polished blade was pressed against my neck. Its edge was so cold and sharp that I was certain one careless swallow would separate my head from my body and send me straight to meet my ancestors. You lowly guard, how dare you lose focus in the Imperial Hall? Are you tired of living? Shall I cut off your head as a warning to the others? A rough voice roared beside my ear. I was Ni Huan, a model office employee who clocked in every morning with his fingerprint, drank full-topping milk tea every afternoon, and spent every night binge-watching boys' love dramas. And apparently, I had just transmigrated. Memories crashed into my mind like a flood, each one striking my skull like a hammer. The original owner of this body was also named Ni Huan. He was an insignificant palace guard with a pitiful salary, number house, no carriage, no insurance, and barely enough presence for his name to be remembered on the palace duty roster. His only purpose was to stand still and make the formation look complete. If necessary, he was also expected to die in place of his master. Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. I had gone from being a slave to capitalism to being a slave to feudalism, out of the frying pan and straight into a volcano. Had I burned down someone's house in my previous life? Was that why my luck was darker than the bottom of a cooking pot? I dropped to my knees and pressed my forehead against the freezing floor. Cold sweat ran down my spine, soaking the thin layer of clothing beneath my armor. High above me, at the top of the steps, was the hem of a black imperial robe, embroidered with golden dragons. The dragons bared their claws and fangs, and the man wearing them radiated enough pressure to suffocate the entire hall. Zi Chengyuan, Emperor of Great Che, a notorious tyrant who killed without blinking and whose thoughts were harder to predict than the final examination in advanced mathematics. Rumor claimed that he had once executed 18 officials simply because they breathed too loudly while he was sleeping. I lowered my head as far as possible and tried to shrink my existence to the size of an ant, but inside my mind, I was screaming, "Mom, save me. What is this murderous aura coming from the man on that throne? Look at those shoes embroidered with gold thread. They probably cost more than every salary I earned in my last life combined. Wait, I heard this emperor is a complete lunatic. People say he skins criminals and makes lanterns out of them for the Mid-Autumn Festival. Why is he looking down here like he is choosing pork at a market? Do not tell me he is deciding which part of me to cut off first. Sir, please stop looking. My meat is tough. I am all lean muscle and no fat. You will only get something stuck between your teeth." At that exact moment, the emperor's hand stopped in midair. He had been lifting a jade wine cup to his lips. His narrow phoenix eyes shifted across the hundreds of kneeling people and landed directly on the top of my head. The corner of his mouth rose. Only much later did I understand that smile. It was the smile of death discovering a new and entertaining tone. "What is your name?" My entire body jerked as if I had been struck by lightning. Damn it. I had been noticed. My life was over before it even began. I forced my shaking voice to work. "This servant is Ni Huan, Your Majesty." The emperor studied me for a long moment. "Ni Huan," he repeated softly. His voice made my scalp go numb. Then he looked away as if nothing had happened. I survived that day, but the rules of Talus survival became engraved in my heart. Do not listen, do not look, do not know. If something does not concern you, keep your mouth shut. Unfortunately, my terrible luck had other plans. Because of that disastrous first impression, I was transferred to the night guard, assigned to the emperor's sleeping palace. Among the palace guards, that position was known as the burning chair. Its death rate was higher than investing your entire savings in a collapsing stock market. The other guards looked at me with the sympathy normally reserved for a funeral portrait. They patted my shoulder as if saying, "Take care, little brother. In your next life, try to be born into a rich family." On my first night shift, the palace was brightly lit by candles, yet somehow it still felt cold and empty. Zi Chengyuan sat behind the Imperial desk, reviewing memorials. I stood beside a pillar and tried to transform him into a decorative candle. I held my breath and kept my eyes forward, but my legs were aching and my lower back felt as if 1,000 ants were crawling over it. Heaven help me. It is already 2 in the morning. Go to sleep, old man. Are you trying to cosplay as an owl? Did someone secretly give you an energy drink? What kind of documents take this long to read? They are probably all reports about corruption or officials begging for salary increases. Read faster. My eyes are closing. Wait. I am starving. I only ate half a plain steamed bun for dinner. My stomach is about to riot. If I had a bowl of instant noodles with a fried egg right now, maybe some lime, and a cup of brown sugar pearl milk tea with every topping, I would gladly sell my life to the Imperial court. My stomach feels like it is about to perform the samba. Do not make a sound, please. I am begging you. Do not embarrass me. Grarer. The noise from my empty stomach exploded through the silent palace like distant thunder. I froze. It was over. Completely over. Zi Chengyuan set down his brush and raised his head. He did not look at anyone else. He looked directly at the guard shrinking in the corner, whose face had turned as red as a ripe tomato. "Are you hungry?" he asked. His deep voice was pleasant, but it sent a chill down my spine. There was unmistakable amusement beneath the question. I dropped to my knees with a thud. "This servant deserves death. I have offended your Majesty's sacred ears. My crime deserves 10,000 deaths. I beg for mercy." Inside my head, however, a completely different drama was playing. Death. 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 Why is everything punishable by death? Hunger is a normal biological need. I am not a robot. You try standing still for 4 hours without food and see whether your stomach stays quiet. What a pointless question. And what is with that entertained look on his face? Is he going to make me eat burning charcoal or drink ink until I am full? Tyrants in palace dramas love doing things like that. Zi Chengyuan rested his chin on one hand His long fingers tapped slowly against the desk. Tap, tap, tap. Then he smiled. It was beautiful enough to bewitch anyone, but to me, it looked like Dracula, preparing to drink blood. Come here. I dragged my doomed body toward him. Without daring to raise my head, he pushed a plate of osmanthus cakes across the table. The pale golden pastries smelled so good that my nose almost cried. Eat. I stared in disbelief and forgot palace etiquette long enough to look up at him. Then I immediately lowered my eyes again. What is this? A condemned prisoner's final meal? Is there poison in it? Did he fill it with the hottest chili powder in the kingdom, or a powerful laxative? Whatever. If I am going to die, I would rather die with a full stomach. That cake looks incredible. It is probably some ultra-limited royal delicacy normal people are never allowed to taste. With trembling fingers, I picked up a cake and took a bite. It was soft, fragrant, and sweet. The flavor of osmanthus melted across my tongue. Zi Chengyuan watched me eat. His gaze followed the movement of my throat and stopped at a crumb, clinging to my lower lip. His eyes darkened. Is it good? He asked, his voice slightly rougher. Yes, Your Majesty. It is delicious. Very delicious, I added in a small voice, still holding half the cake. Inside, I was much less dignified. It is so good I could faint. This is the best thing I had ever put in my mouth. I wish I could wrap the rest and save it for breakfast. But what is wrong with this emperor? Why is he feeding me? Is he fattening me before slaughter? Or has he decided to keep me as a pet instead of a palace dog? Zi Chengyuan suddenly laughed. The low sound vibrated through his chest. He looked at me with an unreadable expression. Fattening you is not a bad idea, he said. Keeping a pet does not sound unpleasant, either. My blood turned cold. Had he just repeated my thoughts? No. It had to be a coincidence. There was no such ridiculous thing as mind reading. At least, that was what I desperately wanted to believe. A few days later, I was assigned to guard the Imperial bath. If I had another life, I swore I would never become a palace guard again, especially not a guard responsible for standing beside the emperor while he bathed. Whoever invented this duty was a pervert. The bathing pool was as large as an infinity pool at a 5-star resort. Steam rose from the water, filling the room with a hazy warmth and the seductive scent of incense. Zi Chengyuan stood beside the pool with his arms raised while the eunuchs removed his dragon robe. I turned my back to him. My face was already burning, even though I repeatedly reminded myself, I am straight. I am completely straight. I like beautiful women. But the soft rustle of clothing falling to the floor tortured my curiosity. Do not turn around. Absolutely do not turn around. If you see something forbidden and they blind you afterward, you will regret it. Still, I am so curious. They say he is skilled in both literature and martial arts. He rides, shoots, and fights better than any general. His body probably is not bad. One tiny glance should be safe, right? Only 1 second, purely for cultural observation. I cracked one eye open and looked over my shoulder. Oh, mother of heaven. Broad shoulders, a narrow waist, strong muscles, sharply defined beneath the candlelight without appearing bulky. His skin was the warm color of wheat. Water slid down the line of his spine and disappeared toward the deep curve above his hips. Premium quality, top-tier merchandise, a masterpiece created by the gods. And that, Ni Huan. Stop. Why are you looking at his backside? Are you drooling? Pull yourself together. Where is your dignity? If you dropped it, pick it up immediately. But honestly, it looks firm. I wonder what it would feel like to touch. Have you seen enough? The voice sounded directly behind me. I jumped so violently that my feet tangled together. I nearly fell face first into the hot pool. I had no idea what kind of supernatural movement technique Zi Chengyuan had used, but he was suddenly standing close enough for his breath to touch my neck. He had not entered the water yet. Only a thin silk towel was wrapped around his hips, and clinging to every forbidden line of his body. He bent toward me. His hot breath brushed my sensitive ear and sent a wave of numbness through my entire body. Guard knee, he murmured. Does what you see satisfy you? His voice lowered. Would you like to touch? I turned rigid as stone. My heart pounded so violently that I thought it might escape my chest and fall onto the floor. This servant would not dare. This servant deserves death. I have crossed eyes. I did not see anything. Mercy, Your Majesty. I only made one small mistake. I swear I did not see anything, especially not that perfect. No. Stop thinking. Why is he standing so close? He smells incredible. Completely overpowering the cheap antibacterial soap I used this morning. And why is he looking at me as though he wants to swallow me alive? Is he planning to drown me to silence? Witness. Someone send help. Zi Chengyuan's lips curved. One wet finger touched the back of my neck and slowly traced down to my collarbone. Goosebumps rose across my skin. You think I want to drown you? He whispered. His voice was dark, magnetic, and dangerously amused. Or perhaps I want to do something much more interesting. My mind went blank. He could hear me. Could he truly hear my thoughts? No. Impossible. He was only guessing. He had to be guessing. I was an excellent actor. At least, that was what I told myself as I fled the bathhouse, with my remaining dignity in ruins. After the bathhouse incident, I officially landed on Zi Chengyuan's blacklist. Or perhaps it was a red list. I could not tell. He did not kill me. He did not punish me. Instead, he treated me like a laboratory mouse created solely for his entertainment. He ordered me to grind ink until my wrist nearly fell off. He made me stand beside his bed and fan him while he slept. If I moved the fan too slowly, he complained that it was hot. If I moved it too quickly, he complained that it was cold. He forced me to taste every dish placed before him, even though a eunuch had already tested it for poison. And every time I insulted him silently, he smiled. It was an extremely punchable smile. I would have punched him if I had not been worried about the execution of my entire family. One afternoon, he summoned me to the Imperial study and ordered everyone else to remain outside. Ni Huan, come here. I approached on careful feet, moving softly, and wearing the harmless expression of a palace servant who definitely had no rebellious thoughts. Zi Chengyuan was studying a scroll painting. What do you think of this picture? I looked. The painting showed a white rabbit trap in a corner while a black wolf prowled around it. The rabbit was trembling, its red eyes wet with fear. The wolf appeared relaxed and arrogant, baring its sharp teeth. The painting is very vivid, Your Majesty. The brushwork is magnificent. What kind of gloomy picture is this? The artist's taste is seriously disturbing. That poor rabbit looks exactly like me. And that smug, dishonest wolf is definitely him. What is he trying to say? That I am already trapped in his palm. Dream on, darling. I am a 1,000-year rabbit spirit. The moment danger appears, I will dig a tunnel and disappear. Let us see you catch me then. Zi Chengyuan suddenly seized my wrist. He pulled once. I lost my balance and fell directly into his lap. My body became completely rigid. I was sitting neatly across the thighs of the most powerful man in the kingdom. His arm locked around my waist, preventing even the smallest movement. The position was far too intimate. Rabbit spirit, he whispered beside my ear. His hand tightened around my waist. I would like to see how you plan to dig your escape tunnel. After falling into the wolf's den, my eyes widened until they could have held whole legs. He knew. He absolutely knew what I was thinking. Had someone installed a mind-reading chip in my brain? Was he some kind of supernatural mutant? Not even an automatic translator worked this quickly. Help. Please release my waist. Why is his hand as hot as an iron? Stop touching me. I am ticklish. Move your hand away from my hip, you shameless opportunist. Zi Chengyuan watched the panic race across my face. The amusement in his eyes deepened. Instead of releasing me, he lowered his head and brushed the tip of his nose against my neck. Then he breathed in slowly, as though enjoying the scent of an expensive dish. Fragrant, he murmured. The scent of your fear is very fragrant. His voice became almost lazy and very exciting. Pervert. An intergalactic level pervert. Mom, I want to go home. That night, I had a strange and disturbingly vivid dream. A giant python had wrapped itself around my body. Unfortunately, the python had Zi Chengyuan's absurdly handsome face. It slid over me again and again. Its tongue brushed my cheeks, my throat, and lower still. I struggled, but my arms and legs were trapped. Let go. You are too heavy. Do not. I woke with a violent gasp. Sweat had soaked my pillow. My arms were wrapped tightly around a long cushion I had sewn from scraps of fabric. But that was not the serious problem. The serious problem was that a particular part of my body had raised its flag at sunrise with impressive enthusiasm. Damn it, a dream like that because of the tyrant. I was a civilized, respectable young man from the 21st century. Yet I had dreamed about being pinned beneath an emperor. Thank heaven no one knew, otherwise I would have needed to bury myself alive. The next morning, I followed Zi Chengyuan to court. My face looked exhausted, dark circles hung beneath my eyes, and my steps were strangely stiff after a sleepless night. Zi Chengyuan glanced at me, his eyes paused on the shadows beneath my eyes. Did you sleep badly? He asked casually. You look as if someone drained all your energy. Thank you for your majesty's concern. This servant is still unaccustomed to his bed. Unaccustomed, my foot. I have slept in that bed for months. This is all your fault, lunatic. Why did you crawl into someone else's dream? You made me wash my underclothes in secret before sunrise and destroy my image as a serious young man. Although, I have to admit that in the dream, his technique was surprisingly good. That tongue. No. Delete. Erase. Format the brain immediately. Ni Huan. You have become far too shameless. Cough. Zi Chengyuan suddenly choked on his tea. He coughed hard enough to spill it across the table. The tips of his ears turned suspiciously red. Then he stared at me, eyes shifting between shock, embarrassment, and something dangerously intense. Technique, he repeated slowly. Skilled ton. His voice sounded like a man considering murder to destroy evidence. I blinked innocently. Your Majesty, did you say something? He placed the cup down with a sharp crack. Then he crossed the distance between us and pressed me against a palace pillar. It was broad daylight. Civil and military officials were kneeling in the distance, pretending they could neither see nor hear. Zi Chengyuan raised my chin until our eyes met. If you are curious about my technique, he said with a wicked smile, I do not object to demonstrating it personally. His thumb brushed my lower lip. I guarantee the reality will be far more satisfying than your dream. I became a statue. It was confirmed. There was no longer any room for doubt. He could truly hear everything. I had been caught mentally fantasizing about the emperor. My life was officially over. Once I accepted that Zi Chengyuan could hear my inner voice, I changed strategy. Instead of trembling in fear, I became shameless. If he was going to hear me anyway, I might as well think whatever I wanted. I insulted him freely inside my head. I complained without restraint, and whenever boredom struck, I treated my thoughts like a private radio station. While he reviewed memorials, I stood nearby and planned dinner. I am bored. I am hungry. What should I eat tonight? Sweet and sour ribs. Steamed chicken with lime leaves. Maybe a spicy hot pot. The palace kitchen serves nothing but boiled and steamed food. It is so bland I could cry. I would give anything for milk tea. Not long afterward, the Imperial kitchen delivered dinner. There were sweet and sour ribs, steamed chicken, and even a bowl of bright red, hot and sour soup. I stared at the meal with tears of happiness gathering in my eyes. Another time, Zi Chengyuan was scolding an official, and I became the invisible commentator beside him. This vice minister talks too much. Long, boring, and completely useless. Look at that enormous stomach. He has probably swallowed half the national treasury. His eyes keep shifting around. He looks guilty. Investigate him. If he is corrupt, cut off his head. Zi Chengyuan slammed his palm onto the desk. Guards. The vice minister went pale. Take the assistant minister of rights away. Investigate all his properties. If he has accepted bribes, execute him without mercy. The official was dragged from the hall while crying for his ancestors. I remained frozen beside the throne. Was the power of my inner commentary really this frightening? Slowly, I realized that Zi Chengyuan was indulging me. He did not punish me for the disrespectful things I thought. He did not execute me for insulting the emperor inside my own mind. Instead, he tolerated every strange thought and quietly fulfilled many of my wishes. One day, rain poured from the sky in heavy sheets. I stood guard outside the sleeping palace and was soaked through within minutes. Water ran down my hair and beneath my armor. The wind cut through me until my teeth began to chatter. This is freezing. I wish I could crawl beneath a warm blanket and watch a streaming series. This armor already weighs as much as a stone wall. Now that it is wet, it feels twice as heavy. Taking it off would be heaven. Everything is shrinking from the cold. Before I could finish that thought, the palace doors opened. Zi Chengyuan stood in the doorway, holding a thick white cloak lined with soft wool. Come inside. I hesitated and stepped back. Your Majesty, this servant is wet. I will dirty the floor. I told you to come in. His voice allowed no refusal. He pulled me through the doorway, threw a towel over my head, and rubbed my hair so roughly that I nearly lost my balance. Then he began unfastening my armor himself. Panic exploded through me. I raised both hands in surrender. The Emperor is undressing me. What kind of horror story is this? Heart, stop beating. You are about to fall out of my chest. His hand touched my waist. It is so hot. Do not move around, sir. That place is ticklish. Stop taking things off. There is only one thin underrobe beneath the armor. Zi Chengyuan laughed softly. His breath warmed the side of my neck. Ticklish, his fingers deliberately slid lower. Here, he brushed my waist. Or here. My knees weakened. I fell straight into his chest. He caught me easily and wrapped both arms around me. His chin rested against my shoulder. Then he whispered something that nearly made me faint. Ni Huan, you are unbearably nosy. His hold tightened. But I like listening to you. The next words were so soft that I almost believed I had imagined them. I could listen for the rest of my life and never grow tired. My peaceful and increasingly inappropriate palace life was interrupted when envoys arrived from a neighboring kingdom. Their delegation was led by Prince Zhao Yan. He was a spoiled young nobleman dressed in bright colors like a peacock, with powdered cheeks and a mouth that never stopped moving. During the banquet, he kept staring at me while I poured wine for the emperor. This guard has delicate features, Zhao Yan said. His eyes shine like stars. He suits this prince's taste very well. Then he reached toward my face. I dodged at once. Get lost, sir. Your hands smell like cheap perfume. And look at all that powder on your face. It is thicker than the city wall. Do not touch me. This flower already has an owner. Wait. I do not technically have an owner yet, but even so, it will never be you. Crash. The jade wine cup in Zi Chengyuan's hand shattered. Wine streamed through his fingers, mixing with blood from the broken porcelain. He seemed not to feel the injury. His face had gone black with rage, and killing intent rolled across the banquet hall until every voice disappeared. Why, your majesty? Zhao Yan stammered. Zi Chengyuan stood before hundreds of shocked officials. He grabbed me by the wrist and dragged me from the hall. He took me straight to his sleeping chamber and threw me onto the bed. You wanted him to touch your face. His voice was a low growl. His eyes had turned red. No. I moved away. He is jealous. He is really jealous. This is a Category 12 storm with a Category 13 warning. His expression is terrifying. Please do not bite me. I am not delicious. This flower already has an owner. Zi Chengyuan repeated coldly, quoting my thought. He leaned over me. Then I should mark my ownership so you remember it. He lowered his head and captured my mouth. The kiss was rough, possessive, and furious. His teeth caught my lip, and the sharp sting made me gasp. He kissed me until I could barely breathe, then moved down my throat, leaving dark, red marks across my skin as if claiming territory. For once, I did not dare think anything outrageous. My heart was racing. I was frightened, but beneath the fear was a strange and undeniable excitement. When he finally lifted his head, his eyes were still dark. No one else touches you, he said. It was not a request. It was an imperial decree, and somehow, I did not want to refuse. Autumn arrived, and with it came the royal hunting festival. I rode beside Zi Chengyuan as the imperial party entered the forest. The mountains were dark beneath the trees, birds scattered from the branches, and the air felt strangely tense. Then black-clad figures burst from the undergrowth. Kill the tyrant. Take his head. The forest exploded into chaos. Zi Chengyuan's martial skill was terrifying. One sweep of his sword sent 3 assassins falling, but there were too many enemies. While he fought those in front of him, an assassin hidden high in a tree drew a bow. The arrowhead glistened with poison. It was aimed directly at Zichengyuan's back. He did not see it. My mind had no time to process the danger. My body moved first with the reflex of a loyal employee terrified that, if the boss died, the company would collapse and everyone would lose their jobs. Your Majesty, watch out. I threw myself between him and the arrow. The shaft struck my left shoulder with a sickening impact. Pain tore through my body and shot straight into my skull. I fell from the horse and rolled across the ground. It hurts, Mom. It hurts like I had been run over by a truck. I think I am dying. Well, at least I died heroically while saving a beautiful man. Maybe they will write my name into the history books and build me a statue. I hope Zichengyuan remembers to burn offerings for me. A new phone, a model mansion, and milk tea. Do not forget the milk tea. Ni Huan. Zichengyuan's roar was the final sound I heard before darkness swallowed everything. When I woke, the first thing I noticed was softness. The bed beneath me was far too comfortable to belong to a low-ranking guard. I was lying on the Imperial bed. The air smelled of bitter medicine. Zichengyuan sat beside me. The Emperor, who always appeared perfectly controlled, looked completely different. Stubble shadowed his jaw. His eyes were red and threaded with blood. His robes were wrinkled and loosely fastened, as if he had not slept or changed clothes in days. When he saw my eyes open, he immediately leaned forward and helped me sit. His hands were trembling. You are awake. The relief in his voice was almost painful to hear. Does it still hurt? I intended to say something brave and impressive. Then pain stabbed through my shoulder, and my face twisted. Yes, it hurts. It hurts terribly. He quickly lifted a bowl of black medicine. He blew across the surface to cool it, then brought a spoon to my lips. Drink. It is the best medicine in the palace. I stared at the liquid. That looks unbelievably bitter. Do I get candy afterward? Maybe a preserved fruit. If I swallow that, I will probably vomit my soul along with my stomach. Zichengyuan sighed. From his sleeve, he produced a small piece of candied persimmon. He placed it in my mouth before offering the medicine again. Be good. Finish the bowl, and I will give you another. I stared at him. This arrogant emperor, who treated the world as if it existed beneath his feet, was sitting beside me and coaxing me to drink medicine like a worried parent comforting a child. My heart skipped. This lunatic is actually very handsome. When you look carefully, when he worries about me, he becomes much less frightening. He is almost cute. Maybe I can trust him once. Maybe I can try loving him. After all, he is ridiculously attractive. He hurt everything. Of course he did. The hand holding the spoon stopped. Zichengyuan set down the bowl and took my hand. His fingers slipped between mine until our palms pressed together. You said you wanted to try trusting me. His voice was hoarse with emotion. My face burned, and I turned away. I did not say anything. I only thought it. He gently turned my face back toward him. Ni Huan, you do not need to hide anymore. His gaze held mine. I have heard your inner voice since the first day you knelt before me. He raised my hand and kissed each finger. Then he pressed my palm over the left side of his chest. Beneath my hand, his heart was beating hard. You are not allowed to die. His eyes were fierce, but there was fear beneath the command. Your life belongs to me. Without my permission, not even the king of hell may take you. His grip tightened around my fingers. From now on, you are only permitted to think about me. Do you understand? I laughed, but tears slipped down my cheeks. So domineering, so unreasonable, and yet, I like it. Fine. In this life, I will sell myself to this particular tyrant. News that I was recovering on the emperor's own bed spread through the palace. It did not take long for trouble to arrive. The Empress Dowager Zichengyuan's stepmother and a group of elderly ministers began pressuring him. They called me a demon, a male fox spirit, a lowly favorite who had bewitched the ruler and disrupted the natural order of the court. They demanded my execution to restore discipline to the empire. The Empress Dowager stormed into the sleeping palace and pointed at me as I lay injured beneath the blankets. Your Majesty, have you neglected state affairs for this lowborn male favorite? Kill him immediately. I shrank into the bed. A male fox spirit? This old woman's mouth is vicious. If I am a fox spirit, What does that make her? A witch riding a broom? No. Silence is golden. If I argue and she orders my head removed, I will regret it. Zi Chengyuan stepped in front of me. His broad back blocked me completely from the Empress Dowager's view. When he looked at her, his expression was colder than a frozen lake. Mother, he said, though his voice held no warmth, you are old. Return to your palace and enjoy your retirement. The Empress Dowager's face changed. This empire is in my hands, he continued. Whom I favor and whom I love do not require your permission. The air in the room turned sharp. If anyone touches even one strand of his hair, I will make that person regret being born. Silence filled the palace. The Empress Dowager trembled with rage, but in the end, she could do nothing except leave. I stared at Zi Chengyuan's back. A complete sense of safety wrapped around me. That was unbelievably cool. My man deserves a perfect score. When someone protects you like this, what? Use his dignity. Throw it away. I am willing to beat his fox spirit for the rest of my life. That night, after the conflict finally passed, the palace became strangely quiet and intimate. Zi Chengyuan came to the bed and lifted the silk curtains. There was no killing intent in his eyes, only tenderness and a desire he no longer tried to conceal. He bent down and kissed the healing wound on my shoulder. Then his lips found mine. The kiss deepened slowly, stealing the air from my lungs. Layer by layer, our clothes fell onto the cold floor. His touch was hot enough to erase every rational thought from my mind. The closeness of skin against skin sent waves of numbness through me. I could no longer think clearly. I only wanted him closer. The candle light flickered, casting the shadows of two intertwined bodies across the wall. Warner, he said my name in a rough voice. Relax, give everything to me. He promised to be gentle. The liar was not nearly as gentle as promised. That night, the tyrant claimed every part of me I had been too afraid to offer. There was pain, but there was also warmth, pleasure, and a deep sense of belonging I had never expected to find. In this strange world, when morning came, I was exhausted, but I was also happy. Time passed. Officially, I remained an Imperial guard. In reality, everyone knew I was the Emperor's exclusive companion and the person he treasured most. No one dared speak against me. Officials, servants, and talismaids all bowed when I passed and addressed me respectfully as Lord Ni. My life became almost impossibly comfortable. During the day, I stood guard. At night, I worked overtime in the Emperor's bedchamber. I had a beautiful lover with a powerful body, endless wealth, and the supernatural ability to understand every thought in my head. What more could anyone ask for? One afternoon, I sat beside Zi Chengyuan and pretended to grind ink. In reality, I was playing with the jade pendant hanging from his belt. While he reviewed memorials, I watched his serious face and thought, thank heaven for sending me into this world. In my previous life, deadlines nearly killed me. In this life, I lie down and enjoy luxury. Consider the debt repaid. The great tyrant has finally been conquered by me. Zi Chengyuan suddenly looked up. He gave me a wicked wink. Conquered? His smile made my waist ache in advance. Tonight, I will show you which one of us has conquered the other. He returned to his memorial. Prepare yourself. The night will be long. I stared at him. There goes my body again. My mouth, or rather, my mind has caused another disaster. It seems I will be unable to leave bed tomorrow. But the truth was simple. I was willing. Bonus chapter: The Tyrant's Point of View. I am Zi Chengyuan. From childhood, I lived among deception and betrayal. The woman called my mother wanted me to become a puppet so she could rule through me. My father treated me as a chess piece used to balance the court. Brothers turned against brothers. Poisonings, assassinations, schemes hidden beneath smiles. I experienced them all. I came to despise everyone. The world contained only two kinds of people: those who wished to use me and those who wished to kill me. My heart froze long ago. Then, one day, a small guard knelt beneath my throne. On the outside, he trembled like a mouse trapped before a cat. I would have ignored him, but just as I was about to look away, a strange voice sounded inside my mind. Mom, save me. He looks like he is choosing meat at a market. Please do not cut me into pieces. I was stunned. It was the first honest, lively, and ridiculous voice I had ever heard. Inside that suffocating palace, Ni Huan insulted me. He complained. He dreamed about food. He admired beautiful men while insisting he was straight. Every thought was shamelessly sincere. His voice was like fresh air entering a life that had become unbearably dull. At first, I kept him near me out of curiosity. I thought of him as an amusing bird whose endless chatter could relieve my boredom. Then I discovered that I could no longer live without the nose. When he hurt, I hurt. When he laughed, even if the laughter existed only in his thoughts, I wanted to smile with him. When he took the poison arrow meant for me, I suddenly understood something I had believed impossible. There was someone in this world willing to risk his life for me without calculation. Even as he lay dying, he was still worrying about milk tea and offerings for the afterlife. He was the only light in my darkness, the brightest color in my life. Ni Huan, I do not care who you truly are or where you came from. As long as you remain beside me, I will share half this empire with you. But if you ever try to run away, do not even dream of succeeding. Even if you break your legs, you will crawl back to my side. And if necessary, I will build a golden cage and keep you inside forever. Because I am addicted to the sound of your heart. And because I love you. The end. Thank you for listening to BL Storytime. If you enjoyed this story, please like the video, subscribe to BL Storytime, and turn on notifications so you do not miss our next emotional boys love story. See you in the next video.